This is political philosophy again. State must be based on rights. The laws of physics and chemistry are natural laws based on observation and experience. The so-called laws of economics are man-made and do not have the power to predict and control events as do the laws of nature. In fact, we can have any economic system, capitalism, socialism, or communism, but we must have a state based on rights. The Bill of Rights should be the state religion. If we had a well-educated populace, we could get rid of 90% of the crime by getting rid of 90% of the laws, which protect 90% of the 40 multinational corporations which run the earth. We should have laws for social convenience and production for social needs. We could all be living like kings if we had production for social needs. Instead, we are divided into tops and bottoms, wage masters and wage slaves, exploiters and exploitees. The Bill of Rights should be the state religion. A despotic will is an isolated individual will, an unchallenged will, whose will is law. Three examples of despots in history are Louis XIV of France, who said, "The state, it is I," Frederick the Great of Prussia, and Catherine the Great of Russia. Frederick the Great of Prussia was called the enlightened despot. You can be enlightened and still be a despot. The Bill of Rights preserves the process whereby a despotic will is challenged and allows a confluence of wills so that the majority can form a consensus as to what to do. To have a rational will, we must have an intersubjective will of the majority, while minorities have the right to object or concur. So the intersubjective will of the majority is the objective basis for the temporary absolutes. We want a government not under one man, but under God and law. The voice of people is the voice of God, but it has to be an educated majority which knows the evils of tyranny based on a little bit of history. It doesn't take that much education. The best ideas which give us the best solutions to our political problems, social problems, and economic problems must be allowed to win out on the battlefield of ideas. Our rights must be enforced. It takes an awful lot of theory to put a rocket on the moon. You can't do it with just your emotions and knowing how to juggle a few balls in the air. A little learning is a dangerous thing. Drink deep or taste not the Pyrenean spring. An anarchist is the other side of the coin of a utopianist. A utopianist is looking for a perfect government. Looking all over the earth for a perfect government, the utopianist doesn't account any government that is perfect. That's when she or he turns into an anarchist. Since she or he thinks no government is perfect, she or he decides to destroy all governments, thinking that will be perfect. Passing, I want to vehemently condemn the firebugs and anarchists in Greece who created chaos after the police shot a teenager. Of course, I condemn the police for shooting a teenager, but the people that burned up Athens, where my niece or my wife's daughter and granddaughter lives, those people should be shot. Any kind of an ist is making themselves out to be an ice cube instead of flowing like water. Racism and fascism are related in that they both think that one group is superior to another. All isms are false and should fade away. The conception of Buddhist nirvana by Fyodor Stabatsky says you should destroy all isms. The wise men tell you what should be destroyed and what should be built up. The utopianist turned anarchist has faulty reasoning, much like the following. Premise 1, I'm nobody. Premise 2, nobody's perfect. Conclusion, therefore I'm perfect. Beware of perfectionists and other ists. An ist is someone who makes himself into an ice cube instead of flowing like water. The Oriental ideal is water flowing, not ice cubes. Jim Wright said people who don't think government works shouldn't be in government. Unless the Lord buildeth the city, the builders build in vain. Unless the Lord watcheth over the city, the watchman watcheth in vain. They didn't have a pea shooter to stop a plane from crashing into the Pentagon. because they spent all the money overseas trying to build an empire in vain. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I shall repay. The Lord takes care of me, and he takes care of my enemies. You should love your enemies before they kill you.